Welcome to The Anchored Man, once again, a new episode. What to do in your singlehood. In the last video, we said number one, like Adam, be in a relationship with God. And we saw that a relationship with God is important. It completes you, it fulfills you, it satisfies you, it keeps you content. It affects, rather, I beg your pardon, how your other relationships are operated and run. In this second video, I'll give you the second reason, or what you need to do, the second thing, rather, you should do in your singlehood. And that is, number two, walking in your purpose. Before Eve came to the picture, when Adam was alone in the garden, the Bible says God had given him some responsibilities. And there are some things he was doing. He was actually walking in his God-given purpose. Many times when you say this, a lot of us just shut down and you think, yo, that's just impossible. How do I even know God's purpose? How do I even know? Is it my career? Important to say is that there needs to be something that we are doing and not just seated idle, waiting for someone to fall mysteriously from heaven that we can be in a relationship with, and so on and so forth. It is important for you and I, in our seasons of singlehood, let's ask ourselves the question, what can I do? Or what has God called me to do or to become? This is very important because it also has an impact on the kind of helper you bring on board. So as young men, have we taken time to ask ourselves what we were created to come and do? Have we taken time to ask ourselves what God intends to do with our lives here on earth? Have you taken time to prayerfully consider and ask yourself what God's plan for you is regarding your life, your career, your ministry, your calling, and so on and so forth? It's easy to listen to that and say, well, I'm not a pastor, or at least I don't work for church, so I don't need that. For me, I have my career. It's not just that the calling or purpose is for those that are working in church. You can actually have a calling out there in your professional work. It could be that some of you, God is using you to do something different in the private sector, for example. For some of you, probably you have burdens to do something for the needy and vulnerable in our society. For some of you, it could be a ministry to the widow, to the widows or widowers. Maybe for some people, victims who've gone through difficult experiences such as rape and so on and so forth. It's important that we take time to want to understand what God has called us to do. What are your giftings? Those are the questions you ask along purpose. What are your giftings? What are your passions? What are some of your talents? What are your strengths? Number 5, what are the people's witness, those around you? Sometimes the voices of people around us is very important in helping us to know what we are cut out to do. When I was running away from pastoral calling, I had people around me that God used to speak to me, and they confirmed that you are actually called to be a preacher. You're a great preacher. We enjoy it when you preach. We think this is what you should be doing. People that are able to sit with you, acknowledge your giftings, acknowledge your talents, celebrate them, and bring them on. It's important that in our singlehood, we strive to want to understand our purpose so that we can thrive in it, so that as we are trusting God for a helper, we will know what exactly they are coming to help us do. It's frustrating to bring on a helper and you do not have an idea of what in the world they are coming to help you with. You find yourself in a difficult place. Are we saying that you need to know what you're going to become after 5 or 10 years from now? Absolutely not. You just need an idea. It doesn't have to be clear. It doesn't have to be thought out. It just needs to have a starting point. That will make our singlehood life very fruitful, enjoying, as we look forward to the more that God has in store for us. I have 2 more left, hoping to tell you of them in the next video. So make sure you join us, and thank you always for watching The Anchored Man.